Begin with Maggie. Maggie, what are you seeing there?
Well, Casey, I'll tell you what, it is just amazing how quickly a storm can pass through, but how much damage it can leave behind. Just take a look at this. We are at St. Gregory Church in Johnstown. This is some of the most devastating storm damage I have seen in a while. The roof here just completely blown off into this yard, and it doesn't end just with this roof right here. If we pan over to the side, you can see that this fence, it was taken down along with some bushes here. You can see the debris just lining the streets. Now, the National Weather Service is going to be surveying the damage in just a little bit, but for now I am joined by our very own Chief Meteorologist, Joe Murgo. You know, Joe, we were talking to a lot of residents today, and they were saying that this is one of the worst storms that they've seen in a while.
And on the air yesterday when I saw it, it was the strongest storm I ever saw in our viewing area hitting a populated area, and I knew this was going to be a bad one. And the wind and the hail, and yeah, we're in contact with the National Weather Service, and we're going to do some surveys. And one thing with talking into the residents, you got to see it. I was trained in one of my jobs for Joe on looking at hail damage in a car, and unfortunately, there is not a car in the neighborhood that doesn't have some dents from the hail, and it was big hail.
Yes, I know you were checking out all of the cars, letting them know, you know, where to look, what to look for, and there was a lot of hail damage. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the determining factors of what, you know, might make it a tornado, but as we do it, we actually want to walk you this way. So we are going to actually go around the side of the church here, because you see all of the damage here, but it doesn't end here. It actually is around the church as well.
And one thing I want to add, Maggie, is that when they look at the damage, they will determine, and they use what's called the enhanced Fujita scale, and it goes into engineering and meteorology. They rank wind damage and tornadoes both off of the damage that's caused. They do not rank them until after the fact, and they take into account the structure itself. And for example, in this case, it was a metal roof, which tends to come off a little bit quicker than shingled roofs, and that's why this building got a little bit more damage than other spots.
And what other thing that you're talking about, these leaves over in the basketball courts this
Correct.
way? This is also a determining factor because of the way that the wind was blowing.
Yes, so it looks like the leaves are coming toward the camera here in this case, and now they're starting to blow them and change them a little bit. But as we see, the leaves are coming this way, and if we can have Tony pan around, as you're looking, the wind on this building now is left to right. Most of the damage was left to right as you're looking through the camera lens right now, and we can look, and even if we pan over to the right side of the building, you can see some of the debris from the left side of the building that moved on through. So a lot of that was caused by wind, and while it may be visual, there's some things that aren't as visual that the National Weather Service will look at to determine, because again, it's the type of structure, Maggie, that comes down. And as soon as I'm done here, I have them. I'm going to just meet up with the Weather Service, and we're going to be trudging around today.
And too early to determine right now.
Correct, and they'll have a report later on today. And one of the people here who was already there, they said, you know, when we looked at this and how visual, he said that that parts of Westmont look like a war zone, which is really sad.
Yeah, just a crazy amount of damage here. We're of course going to keep you posted throughout the day as Joe surveys it throughout the night.
Yep, I'll be here all day long, and we'll have reports tonight at 5 to 6:30, Casey.